you pay a lot of attention to the audience. So you're kind of monitoring their reaction, their body language, how loud they are. Is it something that you were aware of it, or you just understood it was absolutely necessary after doing a few gigs?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important. It's like anything. If you're at work and you're presenting something, and let's say there's 50 people in that room in that office, there's probably going to be 10 or 12 people who are really interested, and there's going to be a big chunk of people who are doing it for the free coffee and donuts, and then the rest of them just don't want to be there. But you've got to get everyone on board, and we all hit this in every aspect of our lives. So it's something that you pick on pretty quickly. Is there someone interested? Are they not interested? Are they worth the time to bring them into the show? So there might be times where they're having a bad day, and this is just them expressing that. There's no way of getting that back into a show. You kind of but sometimes a little bit of banter and a little bit of nicely showing them that this is how the show is going to work, then that keeps them quiet. But it's reading a room is a really great gift to have, whether it's in work, whether it's in comedy. If you're performing Shakespeare down the road in the Mermaid Theatre and people aren't interested or not, it's not happening, you've got to find a way within that structure of Shakespeare to get everyone interested. Comedy's slightly different, where you could be sitting in the front row, obviously uninterested. I could have prepared material, but you and I can have a chat in the middle of the show, and I get to know you. What's the story? Who are you here with? All that sort of stuff, and you kind of feel brought into the show, and maybe you'll go from this to oh, that was funny, elbowing whoever you came with. So you can see all of this floating around a room of, again, whether it's 4 people and a dog or 400 people, you can see this going around a room, and you've got to be aware of your surroundings. And especially, well, in Ireland it's fine, there's no worries, but in America, certain places they may approach you while you're on stage, so you've got to keep an eye on that type of behavior as well. But thankfully that's rarely happened. But reading a room is massive, whatever you do in life, really.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's at least, I don't know, 20-30% of the job. Like I did a few lectures, on various topics, and I think it's not only about knowing the stuff or how confident you are. It's about having a good understanding who is on the other side and what is the message that should be delivered. And you kind of adjust that. Like, one thing I usually do, I know we are above 10 minutes, so I can say that to you. And I shared this actually with my sister the other day. On the first 10 minutes when I'm doing a podcast, as I did now with you, I try to measure, like, who is the person I'm talking to. If he's more talkative, what's his mood? If he's vibrant or more, reflecting, the reflection type. So then I decide what kind of podcast is going to happen, because I never know until I start.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you've got a comedian on here. If there's a camera and a microphone, it's shutting us up. That's the problem. It's not getting the conversation started. It's getting this podcast finished in time for everyone to go to bed. But no, it's something. I hear you. There are people who, the missus, for example, hates public speaking. She's great at it, but she doesn't like it. There are friends of mine who are very gregarious when we're in groups together, but then if there's a microphone, they shy away. So we're all different, and yeah, shutting me up is the big problem.
Yeah. So what would be your advice for someone who is pursuing, say, a career? Though I don't like much the word career, or just pursuing this path of comedy. What would be your
The best advice I've gotten, there's one piece of advice from a comedian and one from a documentary about my favorite musician. Nothing in life owes you anything. So, comedy doesn't owe me anything. I owe comedy everything. And I get, the reward I get is, partly financial, but mostly what it is when I have an idea, it goes from here to my phone, from my phone to the stage, and then back and forth until I get it right. But I see you laugh at the bit that I created, whether it's 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. The reward for me is the work, is the actual putting this cake together. And that's the piece of advice that I saw from a Dave Grohl documentary, the singer in the Foo Fighters. He don't. There's no money in it. There's no fame in it. There's no celebrity in it. The work is the reward. So the work you do leads to a response. That's the reward. And then if it doesn't go right, if you don't laugh at the thing that I created at 4 a.m, that's me. I didn't tell you the story the right way. Like you in your lecture, I didn't tell the story the right way for people to come along with me. All those things have happened, but and then the next bit is it's without painting too vivid a picture. When you get into a bath, you can't get into a bath slowly. You've got to just dunk yourself in there. You might make a little bit of a scream when certain parts of you hit that hot water, but you've got to get in there. You can't just slowly drop in. So if you want to do comedy or music or anything like that, just go and do it. Like there's nothing real that's going to happen to you that's going to hurt you. That if you're married, like the only thing that's going to happen is people won't laugh. And if you've got a wife or a partner, that happens all the time. So, there's nothing to hold you back. And I think when you get older, you don't want to look back. I'm 43, 44 in March. You don't want to look back and go, bollocks, I could have done it, Whereas like, that's why on my 40th birthday, I said it's now or never. I'm just going to be grumpy about it if I don't do it. So you never regret going for something. You only regret not going for it. Jeannie Mac, that sounds very, very fancy. Philosopher. That's my next job.
Yeah, there's plenty of that on the internet. So you'll be unnoticed.